Hell of an update. We first brought you a story about dinner guest being hosed by a neighbor because of music. We have the video. Here it is.
I want to see if she did that.
He was the one that was expecting problems.
That really That's crazy. I'm videotaping it. I'm videotaping the neighbor throwing water on everyone at Rose's front party. I am videotaping the neighbor throwing water at us. I'm videotaping it.
Eve and Kevin just went in.
Look, that's crazy. We're calling the cops.
Such a damn shame. Put up the doctor, the victim, one of the victims. He's the guy who's the homeowner. He has guests over to his home. Yves DeRosso and his guests were sprayed by water, a water hose, by a white neighbor during a party. Put up the picture. In the incident, which occurred September 17th, 2022, it is now the subject of a civil rights suit filed last week in Kings County, New York, against the neighbor, Marcus Rosebrock. Let me say it again. Marcus Rosebrock is his name. Mr. Rosebrock and an unnamed white woman accused of forcibly entering the doctor's home with a large menacing German Shepherd in an effort to silence the plaintiffs and end their celebration. So let me just remind everybody of the original story. The white female literally breaches the property, goes into the home with a dog, tells them to end the party. The good doctor says, listen, we're winding down actually, but man, would you go ahead and exit my home? I mean, this is a nice guy. Let's put up the picture of the doctor again. The New York City doctor. From every sentence I have heard about this man, he's a remarkable individual. So Dr. DeRosso and his wife were having a dinner party. They had about 15 guests when an unidentified white female showed up with a large German Shepherd, demanded the music be turned down in their backyard. All the guests were either Black or Latino, except one. At 9:50 p.m., when the party was winding down, the female defendant, known right now as Jane Doe, I hope somebody gets me that name, entered the DeRosso home uninvited with a large German Shepherd and demanded the music playing in the background be turned down, according to the lawsuit. Dr. DeRosso told the woman the party would be ending soon and requested that she leave his property before he returned to his yard to continue socializing. Let's put it up just to give you a comparison here. When the party did not end, a white neighbor grabbed his backyard hose and started soaking the guests, a scene reminiscent of when white police officers used fire hoses and dogs to attack, intimidate, and silence African Americans participating in things that they could. It's called freedom. Only this time, the scene was a beautifully decorated garden party in a nice neighborhood of Forest Hills. The suit alleges Rosebrock increased the pressure of the hose during the alleged attack so that it was, and I quote, extremely powerful and stinging in nature, end quote. The guests remained deeply scarred by the alleged ordeal and were made to feel less than human. Rosebrock's lawyer, Brandon Gillard, reiterated Wednesday his earlier statements denying any characterization that Rosebrock is racist or that his actions were racially motivated. Put up Rosebrock's picture. Sir, I believe you racist as hell, sir. That is my opinion. Okay. What you did was completely, insanely wrong. It was criminal. The Forest Hills man, through Gillard, denied all allegations, adding that the DeRosa attendees were allegedly aggressive and violent. I hope you all add that to the lawsuit. That's called slander per se, defamation per se. All right. He says, no. They were actually the ones violent and rude. Damn, everybody was recording. You got 15 witnesses. All right. What you got, sir? You a white woman and a German Shepherd? Come on, man.
There was a black gentleman that was working his job, and he experienced a lot of racism and discrimination on his job, so much so that he found a N-word manual on the job, and he had to file a lawsuit against the company, which I definitely recommend all black people file lawsuits against companies so you deal with racism. But let's roll the clip.
I was shaken when I saw that. I think that we who are not of color sometimes sit in our happy, secure places and want to believe that this kind of thing doesn't go on anymore.
Attorney Kathy Lauder-LaJour says she is disturbed by the paperwork she received from her client, DeAndre Adams. Paperwork titled The N-Word Owner's Manual.
I've never seen anything like this.
Adams has worked for the Obion County Highway Department for 7 years and says he's experienced racism in this workplace before.
A guy who was a foreman at the place one day fashioned a noose and waved it at Mr. Adams with some comment to the effect of, ain't this part of your heritage?
2 weeks ago, Adams says he was going through a file cabinet he uses on a regular basis when he found the 4-page manual. It gives instructions on how to install, configure, house, entertain, and even kill African Americans. It also has headlines like, "My N-word keeps raping white women." Adams told his attorney he complained to his supervisor but was told not to say anything and that he would take care of it. But Adams feels like nothing was done. I called the department to get their side.
Do I just refer all questions? You guys don't have anything you want to add?
They told me they did not have anything to say, but to call their lawyer, Steve Conley. Conley told me he is looking into all of the allegations and has asked Adams for the original copy, but has not received it. He also says whoever is responsible for this will be disciplined.
It's horrible what I just read.
Dacarius Stevens is from Union City and says he's not surprised by the message at all. He hopes the mindset of whoever placed the papers in the cabinet changes, but he also believes there should be changes within the black community too.
I feel like it starts with us blacks. When we having a conversation with each other, I feel like we have to stop using the word.
I also tried interviewing many others around Union City, but they declined, some telling me they don't condone the manual's message, but would rather not talk about it.
Now, it's just two things that I've seen in this video outside of the obvious. So let's talk about the obvious. The obvious is, of course, he's dealing with some straight up white supremacists that feel very, very bold to do that to him. And I personally believe that he is passive, that they don't feel threatened by him because they constantly kept doing it to him. See, let me tell you something about these white supremacists. They size you up. They know who they could try that on and who not to try that on. And he kept allowing them to get away with it. And that's why he ended up getting that N-word manual that he found at work. That's why. The first time that they showed you a noose, something should have been done. And yet you didn't do anything at the time period. That's going way too far. To me, you show me a noose, you threatening my life. Now I'm about to get in self-defense mode all the way around. You're not going to play me like that. That's just bottom line. But Dr. Neely Fuller has said something. And I'll never forget this video. It was an audio where Dr. Neely Fuller was talking with a white lady. And she was asking, what can she do to help fight against racism? And he said, one thing that you can do to help out black people specifically is do not sleep with them. And he said, that's the most cruel thing you could do is sleep with a black person. And she was shocked. And she said, why? He told her, because when you're sleeping with a black person, it neutralizes them to think that racism don't exist. They get weak and they don't see really what it is. And then finally they deal with racism and white supremacy, and then they don't know how to deal with it because they has been so neutralized. Case in point, you saw his woman. He's with a white woman. Back to what Dr. Neely Fuller said. He's neutralized. That made him really weak and passive to a lot of things, obviously. And that's why it went so far now that he felt that I got to go get an attorney. But he should have got an attorney the first time.